Hello, good afternoon, boys and girls. I hope you've had a great day. I wanted to get on here and record chapter 6 of the Magic Tree House, a big day for baseball for you. I thought we could enjoy it together this afternoon. It's kind of gloomy here, so not much to do. So let's go ahead and read chapter 6. Remember, we left off, Jack had just gotten his hat snatched off his head by a kid that was in the stands, and they ran off with it. So let's see what happens now. Hey, shouted Jack, give me that back. Jack had to get his cap, but first he had to get rid of the ball he was holding. A Dodgers bat boy at home plate held up his glove. Jack hurled the ball toward him, but his throw didn't go very far. It nearly hit the umpire at first base. The umpire yelled at Jack. So did some fans. Jack was in shock. He didn't know what to do. He looked around for the kid who had stolen his cap, but the kid was gone. The umpire shouted something to a security guard on the sidelines. The guard started toward Jack. Jack began running along the outfield wall toward the dugout. He had to get, excuse me. He had to get Annie out. He had to get Annie. They had to get out of the ballpark. Jack didn't see Annie in the Braves dugout, so he dashed inside the clubhouse. He grabbed his bag and threw it over his shoulder. Then he looked around wildly. No one was there. Annie! Jack shouted. Annie! What? She called back. Jack tore around the corner and found Annie filling up water jugs in the kitchen area. We have to go, Jack cried. Some kid stole my cap, and a security guard is after me. Oh no, said Annie. The door to the clubhouse banged open. Annie rushed over to Jack and she pulled off her magic cap and placed it on his head. Then she hid behind the door. The guard and the clubhouse manager came around the corner to the kitchen area. Hello, kid, the guard said, nodding at Jack. He was the same guard who had brought them to the ballpark. There's the guards chasing after poor little Jack. Hello, said Jack. Annie's cap made him feel calm and confident again. Did you see a young boy come in here? The guard asked. A young boy? Jack asked. A skinny little guy wearing glasses, the guard said. He was trespassing on the field. Excuse me. No, sir, said Jack, shaking his head. I didn't see a skinny little guy. Okay, the guard turned to the clubhouse manager. Let's go check outside. As they turned to go, the manager spied Annie behind the door. Hey, what are you doing here, little missy? He said. I'm a bat boy, said Annie. No, you're not. You're a little girl, said the manager. You can't be in here, shouted the guard. We'll lose our jobs. Wait, said Jack. He pulled off his magic cap and threw it to Annie. She put it on and looked up. See, I'm a bat boy, she said. Clubhouse manager and guard looked very confused. They squinted at Annie. Oh, I see that now, the manager grumbled. Well, we better look outside. But as the guard turned to Jack, he gasped. Wait a minute, you're the little kid we're looking for. No, he's not, said Annie. He's a bat boy. She pulled off the magic cap and put it on Jack's head. The guard snatched it away from her. I'll take that. I don't know what's going on here, she said the manager, but you kids have to get out of here now. Can we take the water jugs to the guys first, said Annie. The team is thirsty. No, yelled the clubhouse manager and the guard together. March, said the guard. Jack and Annie headed for the door. Outside the clubhouse, the security guard pointed toward the exit. That way, he said. Jack kept his head down as he walked with Annie. The two men followed behind them. Jack hoped no one was watching. When he heard the laughter, he was sure people were laughing at them. Hurry up, ordered the manager. Jack and Annie stepped away from the open park onto the ramp. They walked ahead of the guard and the manager through a turnstile. Then they headed into the huge round lobby. Ticket sellers gawked at them as they crossed the ring. The guard and the manager led them through the doors. Outside on the street, Annie stopped and looked at the manager. Sir, remember, keep going, said the guard. Remember when you said, good job, boys? Annie said, that was us. The manager ignored her. Go, he said, and he pointed down the street. And don't ever come back to this ballpark again. Never again. Let's go ahead and read chapter 7. Shortcut to a good place. As Jack and Annie started down the sidewalk, the wind picked up, and the wind didn't matter anymore. But the wind didn't matter anymore. That wasn't fair, said Annie. We worked hard. Who cares, said Jack. He felt sick. wonderful day turned terrible. Morgan's plan was a big failure. They hadn't learned anything about being great baseball players. We can't just leave now, said Annie. What about Morgan's rhyme? We have to give fly ball away, and we can't do it until we hear a final score. Jack looked back. The guard and the manager were still watching. Well, we can't stay here, he said, or anywhere near here. Come on, she rounded the stadium corner of Sullivan Place and Bedford Avenue. At that moment, two kids were racing down Bedford. They bumped right into Annie. Ow, oops, the kids cried, nearly falling down on the pavement. Oh, sorry, said Jack. Olive, Otis, said Annie. I can't believe it, said Jack, crashing into you by accident, said Annie. No accident, said Olive. We came looking for you. We saw you from under the gate, said Otis. Jack changed before our eyes, said Olive. One minute he was tall, then he was short. One minute he could throw the ball, next minute he can't. One minute Andy's a big boy, said Otis. The next he's a little girl. Not that little, said Annie. The twins laughed so hard and nearly fell down. Annie started laughing too. Then Jack joined in. He couldn't help it. What happened to you? Said Olive. It's hard to explain, said Annie. Really hard, said Jack, still laughing. You changed like magic, said Otis. You're right, said Jack. Just leave it at that. What are you going to do now? Said Otis. Said Olive. I don't know, said Annie. We can't stay around Ebbets Field, but we need to be near to hear the final score. Oh, we know a good place to hear the game, Olive said as she looked at Otis. Don't we? We sure do, said Otis, as if he read his twin's mind. We promise that you'll hear the final score. Where, said Jack. You'll see, said Olive. Hold hands while we cross the avenue. She grabbed Jack's hand. Otis grabbed Annie's. Let's go, girl, he said. You can call me Annie, said Annie. Come on, Annie girl, said Otis. The twins pulled Jack and Annie away from Ebbets Field. Crossing the avenue, they all dodged a streetcar and jumped onto the sidewalk. That was risky, said Jack. That's how Dodgers got their name, said Otis. Fans have to dodge streetcars to get to the ballpark. Really? Said Jack. I didn't know that. So where are you taking us? Said Annie. To a good place to hear the game, said Otis. We know a shortcut, said Olive. Of course you do, said Jack, grinning. The twins led Jack back and Annie down the street to a fish shop and a bakery. They passed a candy store and headed into a maze of alleys. They ran under clotheslines strung high between buildings. Laundry flapped overhead in the spring breeze. They passed some girls playing hopscotch. Hi, Olive. Hi, Otis, the girls yelled. Next, they passed old men playing cards. Hey, Olive. Hey, Otis, the men called, waving. Finally, the twins led Jack and Annie through the alley down the quiet walk. They stopped in front of a small brick house. Here we are, said Otis. The granny house. The granny house? Said Jack. This is where our grannies live, said Olive. 2 regular grannies, 1 great granny, said Otis. Plus, we have great aunts. 2. Wow, you're so lucky, said Annie. You get to visit them all the time in the same house. Mama says they spoil us, said Otis. They give us cookies and cakes. Best of all, they let us listen to their radio. Come on in, said Olive. She opened the door and led Jack and Annie into Granny's house. And that's the end of that chapter. So, what do you think is going to happen next? Do you think they'll get to hear the score on the radio? What's your prediction? I want you to comment below and tell me what you think is going to happen in the next chapter. Have a great day, guys.